It was only a matter of time before he started attacking us. At this point, this man has shown his true colors. Now, it's a few of you motherfuckers out there that's gonna probably find this funny, cause you are part of that radical right. And every black person should be furious, because he's showing you exactly how he feel about us. The President of the United States decides to put Barack Obama and Michelle Obama on fucking monkeys, gorillas, apes, whatever you wanna call it. Out of all the animals, those were the animals that was chosen. Since then, they deleted the post because the shit went viral and people started responding.
I am a registered Republican, voted for the president, supported him, but I really want to apologize. I mean, I'm looking at this awful picture of the Obamas. What an embarrassment to our country. All this man does is tell lies. He is not worthy of the presidency.
Now, they might have deleted the post, but it's still circulating. If you're okay with some shit like this, then you are a part of the problem. This is why this nation is so fucked up. This right here should be grounds for impeachment. It's time to get that motherfucker out of there. So I thought Donald Trump was gonna have a little bit more class than this, but clearly not.
Mr. President, a number of Republicans are calling on you to apologize for that post. Is that something you're going to do?
No, I didn't make a mistake. I mean, I look at a lot of thousands of things, and I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine. Certainly, it was a very strong post in terms of voter fraud. Nobody knew that was at the end. If they would have looked, they would have seen it. And probably they would have had the sense to take it down. So
even though it was his PR team that put the bullshit out there, he don't want to apologize? Talking about if we would have watched it all the way to the end, we would have seen that it was about voter fraud. This motherfucker still talking about voter fraud and he the fucking active president? Again, no active president should be posting some shit like this. I don't give a damn if it was a video for voter fraud or not. Your PR team chose to put Michelle and Barack Obama on fucking apes. If the people that support you even say it's wrong, how the fuck can you see it's not wrong?
TikTok's new American owner is apologizing to thousands of users after reported issues with the video sharing app. Over the weekend, there were more than 600,000 reports of glitches. The company says the issues were because of a power outage at a U.S. data center that the company uses. Content creators are also noticing bugs, slower load times, and 0 views on videos. The company says it will be back to full capacity soon.
Ever since they did the switch, they done fucked this whole app up. Views haven't been the same. Seeing content from days ago, talking about it's gonna be back to full capacity soon. When the hell is that gonna be? I've seen so many videos on my FYP of people complaining about not getting any views. And if I'm just being honest, shit, I'm one of them. Is this the new algorithm that they trying to train? Is this the reason why people content ain't getting that push like they used to? Or is the United States censoring people now? Remember, they own majority of this motherfucker. TikTok definitely ain't the same no more. These cops was quick to stereotype this guy just because of what he said. I want y'all to take a look at this.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
See, they was real polite at first. But once they found out that was his brother, it's crazy, right? Now, the fact that those cops reacted that way that they did to that gentleman because he said that he was the brother of Rodney Hinton Jr. is crazy. They already had it in their mind once they heard that, hey, we don't want you here if you claiming you his brother, as they forcefully removed him from the court area. Now, he could have just went and sat down and didn't say anything, but clearly he wasn't there for that reason. But I bet he didn't expect that it was going to turn out like this. 18-year-old Rodney Hinton Jr. was fatally shot by an officer responding to a stolen vehicle report. Next day, Sheriff Deputy Larry Henderson was hit by a car and pronounced unalive. Now, the car was being drove by Rodney Hinton, the father of Rodney Hinton Jr. The Ohio Sheriff deputies are investigating this incident as revenge for what happened to Rodney Hinton Jr. But the looks that he received when he went to court. Now, they denied his bail, but they had 30 police officers in the courtroom staring him down, letting him know how they truly feel about him. Now, allegedly, they're saying that Rodney Hinton Jr. was fatally shot by one of the officers because he pointed a pew-pew at one of them. You also got some people out there that believe Rodney Hinton lost it when his son was unalive and took matters into his own hands. It's going to be very interesting to see how this story plays out, since we all know what type of world we're living in. Do you believe what Rodney Hinton did was justified? Well, clearly these elderly people have lost their rabbit-ass mind. So this motherfucker, John Daniel Rosso, age 79, decided it was okay for him to pull over, exit his vehicle, approach a hospice employee's vehicle, and start harassing her.
A hospice care worker says her life will never be the same after a terrifying interaction.
You better get your racing.
Jasmine Thomas was arriving at a patient's home in Aiken, South Carolina, when 79-year-old John Rosso confronted her while she was in her car.
You better go on somewhere. Probably knock you out.
Now, before some of y'all say it's dementia or whatever the case may be, Alzheimer's, this motherfucker was in a vehicle driving and decided to pull over and harass this lady. See, this is the type of world that we live in, that people think that they can do whatever they want to do because of their skin tone. And of course, it had to be somewhere in South Carolina. People wonder if racism still exists in this day and age, and clearly this right here shows that that shit never went nowhere. This situation could have easily took a left turn depending on who would have been on the other side of that driver's door. Y'all better stop running up to people's doors thinking that y'all could do whatever the fuck y'all want to. As soon as you press on that motherfucking like button, your motherfucking engagement is over. This is why you hear people say work from the bottom up. Because it prolongs you from tapping on that motherfucking like button, which helps your motherfucking account, little do you know. The motherfucking algorithm is motherfucking watching you if you motherfucking don't notice this. You cannot trick this motherfucker. When you work from the bottom up on somebody motherfucking content that you motherfucking like, you wanna click on the motherfucking share button to get a copy link. That's your first motherfucking engagement. Click and share and click and repost is your second motherfucking engagement. It's up to you if you want to favorite the motherfucker. But you better leave a worthy comment on that motherfucker if you want to get some motherfucking followers. And you better not press that motherfucking like button to the motherfucking end. Why? Because the motherfucking algorithm is watching your motherfucking ass. Going around liking everybody's content does not show motherfucking engagement. Going around liking on somebody's comment on somebody's content does not show motherfucking engagement. You literally have to leave a motherfucking foot trail behind you like a motherfucking bread of crumbs. If you want motherfuckers to come and engage on your motherfucking content. If you want motherfuckers to follow your motherfucking ass. Now, if this is too hard to motherfucking do, then maybe this app ain't motherfucking for you. Now start engaging motherfucking correctly and watch your motherfucking engagement increase. Now they said ain't nothing to be worried about in Virginia, but all these kids keep coming up missing. State police say there's no such thing as a mass kidnapping. But where the hell are all these kids? They claim that these kids are just running off on their own, and eventually they end up showing back up at home. But since the beginning of the year, there's been 3,625 kids missing in Virginia. At this present time, there's 33 kids that can't be found. And some of y'all wondering why you're not getting Amber Alerts. Because those motherfuckers cut the funding to that, remember? The fact that the state police is trying to act like this ain't happening is absurd. People literally just picking up kids and walking away. And that right there was at a local mall. A gentleman just walked on up to a play area and picked up somebody else's kid and walked away. But you trying to tell me there ain't no mass kidnapping going on? The state of Virginia is on a high alert, whether if the police talking about it or not. Keep your kids close so you know where they at. I'm telling you now, it's some real wishy-washy shit going on. China has been on a warpath exposing how massively overpriced designer clothes are in the U.S. And we know why this is happening, because good old Donnie Boy wants to have a tariff war with China. If you feel like you lost in the sauce, look at this.
It's not looking good for the big brands. Turns out, those designer bags and shoes you've been paying thousands for, many of them are actually made in China, not Italy, not France.
Wow.
Same factories, same materials, same products, just with different labels slapped on. And now, China's done keeping quiet. With trade tensions rising, Chinese insiders are spilling the truth. The luxury items sold in high-end boutiques are often no different from what's sold on D-Gate.
So I guess you gotta ask yourself, is it really important to have a designer label? Are you one of the ones that's willing to spend $40,000 for the same bag that you can get for $1,200? Do you value your American dollar that you have to spend on stuff that ain't worth it? China manufacturing companies has been putting everybody on blast. So if you didn't know, now you know. Are you gonna be one of the ones that's gonna stop spending all your money? Or are you gonna be one of the ones that's actually gonna start spending wisely? Now, I said I wasn't gonna touch this one with a 10-foot pole, but what type of delusional shit has to be going through a person's mind to keep a child locked in a small space for 20 years? And if you've been following this story, it's been new details released. But for the ones that haven't been following it, let me run it back for you real quick. Emergency workers in Waterbury, Connecticut responded to a house fire last month. They ended up rescuing 2 people. One was the woman and the other one was her stepson. When they found the 32-year-old man, he stated that he started the fire as he was trying to break free from this small room that he's been held captive in for 20 years. He told the firefighters he wanted his freedom. Now, they didn't identify who the man was, but he was found to be only 68 pounds at 5'9" tall. He stated when they found the boy that he was dirty, his teeth was rotten, and his hair was matted and unkempt. They took him to a local hospital where they had to intubate him, that he was suffering from a form of severe physical deterioration, conditions found in patients with advanced cancer. Now, the Department of Children and Family claimed they have no records connected to this case. But Will Flanagan, a great uncle to the victim, stated that he knew something was wrong when they went to go visit them years ago. Now, he states that his sister-in-law and wife went up there to try to visit their nephew, which they ended up finding out that the boy was being locked inside a closet. Now, Flanagan states when they left, they called Child Protective Services, which the call resulted to them stating that they would take care of it. Now, Child Protective Services ended up calling them back saying they went and knocked on the door, but the lady wouldn't let them in. So they dropped the case at that point. Now, Connecticut's Department of Children and Family Services said on Thursday that they went and looked in the databases. However, they could not find anything related to this case. But they did acknowledge that they expunged records after 5 years, which is per state regulations. The police department back in 2005 stated they went and did a wellness check, but they didn't find nothing out the ordinary. Which now this lady is now facing kidnapping charges and assault. So allegedly, the astronauts that's been stuck up in space for 9 months is finally coming home. I say allegedly because they actually had a way to get home. If you didn't see my last video, the lady said in case of an emergency, they can find their way home. So why they didn't bring their ass home? They was able to get Christmas presents. They was able to get interviewed by different people. So explain that to me. But the astronauts are set to return back in Florida at 5:57 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, according to NASA's estimated flight schedule. Now, this is why they're coming home. NASA also announced that Wilmore and Williams, who are both veteran astronauts and retired Navy test pilots, will return on a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft instead. The agency adjusted its rotation of astronauts as a result, removing 2 people from SpaceX Crew 9 mission, which is returning to Earth this week to make room for Wilmore and Williams. Nevertheless, I'm glad they're returning home, but it looks like if they didn't make room on one spacecraft, they would still be stuck up there unless they use that emergency way to get home, like she mentioned when she did an interview. So if you're near the Florida area, keep your eyes in the sky later on this evening. See, I knew something was wrong with this situation. You couldn't convince me otherwise to say that there wasn't some foul play going on with this investigation. Now, the police tried to convince us that it was a murder-suicide. However, the family wasn't going. Both twin brothers, Quadir and Nazir Lewis, was found unalive in Bell Mountain, Georgia, even though they should have been in Boston. However, this guy, Scott Curlin, a volunteer fighter from Towns County, was arrested and accused of interfering with the investigation. The 42-year-old shutterbag is accused of sharing photos of the Lewis brothers' death scene to the public. Now, Scott Curlin was fired and arrested, as he should be for doing something like that. But it also makes you think, why was he taking photos and sharing them with the public? Is he somehow involved in this murder investigation? Your average typical person would not involve themselves in a murder investigation if it wasn't necessary. If you ask me, I think he got something to do with it. Most people that take a photo of a crime scene normally uses that as a trophy. If people don't stay on this investigation, they'll definitely try to sweep it under the rug. You know, and I know. Now this is the shooter from Florida University, Phoenix Inkner. A 20-year-old whose mom is also a sheriff deputy decided to take his mom's former service weapon and go to Florida State University, which he ended up opening fire, injuring 6 people and unaliving 2. Now the 2 people that was unalive was Robert Morales and Tiru Chaba, who were both fathers and food service workers at Florida State University. Phoenix Inkner was also shot, but he was taken into custody. Now they asked President Donald Trump what he thought about the situation. This is what he said.
The gun doesn't do the shooting, the people do. It's, a phrase that's used probably too often.
Now the suspect had access to guns. He was a member of the Sheriff's Department Youth Advisory Council, and the handgun that he used was his mom's old service weapon before she got updated to a new one. The suspect refused to speak to law enforcement yesterday, but I'm sure more information will become available within the upcoming days. Not only does China manufacture all luxury brands, but they said if you need clean clothes, we got you. Watch this.
Do you want to buy laundry pots? Do you want laundry capsule? Do you want laundry beads?
Wow.
One pot costs only 5 cents.
5
You
cents.
can get 20 pots for just $1. You have good quality with better price. 10 years factory in Guangzhou. If you want to be our agent, please contact me for free sample.
My man said 5 cents a pod. 20 pods for $1. $5 to get you 100 pods. Way cheaper than how much it costs here. These manufacturers in China ain't holding back at all. They say if you want it for the low, we got you. You want to put tariffs on everything? We gonna sell to your people anyway. We gonna cut out the middleman. If people haven't realized already, China's going to win the tariff war. Reason being, they have manufacturing plants that's ran by robots. America, on the other hand, has no manufacturing plants. And honestly, don't look like they coming back anytime soon, if at all. Most people are upset that they have been getting ripped off because stuff is for the low in China, but expensive over here. But as I always say, this is who y'all voted for. This right here is the Corpus Christi Harbor Bridge, which is located in the good old state of Texas, which is set to be demolished in August. The new harbor bridge just opened up on June 28th of this year. This bridge is the largest cable-stayed bridge in the United States of America. It allows for larger ships to pass beneath. It permits safer pedestrian transit, but also it reconfigured the highway interchange system in the surrounding community. Don't worry about me. Count me out. Some people have already spotted cracks inside of this new bridge. Oh, wait! Seeing stuff like that is probably the reason why I wouldn't ride across this motherfucker. I'll take the scenic route. Count me out. Now you got a lot of people in Texas that is happy that this bridge is open, as they are not paying attention to the speed limit, which is 55 miles an hour. But let me know if you have plans to travel across this motherfucker. But for me, count me out.